I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but Lent is coming. As Catholics during Lent, that means we must follow 3 simple rules. Number 1, don't eat meat on Fridays. Number 2, don't eat candy unless it's Sunday. Number 3, on the first day of Lent, put some dirt on your face. And if you follow those 3 simple rules, you will have the quintessential Catholic Lenten experience. Goodbye.
Don't you ever say
Wrong! There is so much more to Lent than just giving up candy or not eating meat on Fridays or putting the ashes on your forehead on Ash Wednesday. But what really is Lent? I mean, why do we do it? The practice of Lent is about mirroring Jesus' 40 days in the desert, where he fasted and prayed to God for strength. The idea is for us to give ourselves a spiritual desert in which we strive for 40 days to become closer to God. There are 3 basic things that we're supposed to be doing during Lent, and the first one gets the most attention. Fasting. Fasting is what most people focus on the most. They might give up their favorite food, they might give up candy or chocolate or pop, but the other 2 often don't get nearly as much attention, and those would be prayer and almsgiving, which means giving money away. Giving money away may not be the easiest thing to do when you're in high school, but there are ways to do it. If you have an allowance or maybe you have a job, you could put a little bit extra of that into the collection at Mass. Or maybe the next time you're going to go out with friends or go out to eat, you could instead save that money and give it to the poor. That way you're not only giving them money, but you're sacrificing something that you like to do. A great way I find to give to the poor or to give your alms is to find a charity that you are passionate about or that you really like. Giving to the collection at Mass is good, but sometimes we aren't motivated because it just feels so pointless or just that if we're just another number. But if you research online and find something that you care about, maybe you care about poverty in other countries or about problems here in our country or even in our own state, you can find something that you care about so that when you give money to it, you really feel a connection there. Now, when you're deciding what to give up for Lent, it's important to find something that can be spiritually enriching as well as a sacrifice. What that means is don't just give something up like chocolate and then just use it as kind of a personal test to see if you can do it. Like, oh, I'm strong enough, or oh, I failed. What? And I'm not saying that giving up chocolate is necessarily bad, but just make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Make sure you're doing it because it's a sacrifice for God instead of just what I did last year. In Father's column this week in the bulletin, he encourages us to strive harder this year, to choose something that truly is a spiritual sacrifice. Maybe give up something that distracts us from God or from praying. Maybe give up Facebook or YouTube or video games, something that takes up some of our time, so that when we normally would use those things, we think, well, what am I going to do now? And the answer, my friends,
is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
The answer is prayer. When you give up something that takes up a certain block of your time every day, that is your new time to pray. But a lot of people don't do this because it's hard and it hurts. It's too close to home. I like scrolling through what everyone's been doing with their life every single day. Or maybe video games are the way that I unwind after school. But where's God in all of that? Where is God in our daily life? We need him there. So if we can sacrifice something that takes up our time, well, that's just what I would strongly encourage you to do. Sacrifice some time so that you can give it to God. Because if you just give up chocolate, where does that leave God in the picture? And this brings us to the third part of Lent, which is prayer. This is the part that most people probably neglect, which makes no sense at all because this is the most important part. It's pointless to sacrifice something if you're not going to pray about it and have it be a connection with you and God. Jesus didn't just go out into the desert and just say, I'm not going to eat anything for 40 days because I am God's son and I can do it and I'm going to prove it to the world. No, he went out there and said, God, I'm going to not eat because I want to be as connected with you as possible. So whatever it is that you give up, whether it's Facebook or chocolate, make sure it's something that connects you with God, that every time you're not doing it, you're praying. So even if you do give up chocolate, you could still say every time you don't eat it, be like, I want the chocolate. Nope, I'm not going to do it. And then say a quick prayer to God. Or even just do the sign of the cross. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, God be with me. Just something quick and easy so that you're connecting your sacrifice to our Father. Because that's what being Catholic is all about. It's about connecting ourselves with God. It's about seeking him out, trying to bring him to us and bring ourselves up to him. So let's do it. Let's make 2015 the best Lent ever. We need to pick something that is challenging but doable. If it's too hard, we're just going to fail. If we do what Jesus did and say, I'm not going to eat, well, that will probably fail, and then we will just be done. But if we pick something too easy, like let's say you choose chicken nuggets, but you barely ever eat chicken nuggets, so it's only a sacrifice every once in a while, well, I don't think God will be very impressed by that, do you? So remember, fast, give alms, and pray. And that's it.
Don't you ever say I just walked away.
Maybe I'll give up wearing brown or eating bananas. Nah, chocolate.